right, welcome back to the Know Your Numbers REI podcast. Your host, Chris McCormack, CPA, certified tax planner, and founder of Better Books Accounting. It is our goal. Up to this point, we have found that real estate investors are quite frustrated with the way their taxes have been handled, the way that they understand taxes. Maybe they're confused or just fed up with paying too much. And so we are looking to eliminate that confusion, eliminate those frustrations, eliminate that anger that comes when you look at the amount that you pay in taxes. And we have created this podcast to help do that. We know that the more information that you have, so long as you use that information and apply it and turn knowledge into wisdom, then you are better off than you were. And we know that not everybody has the time or the desire to study the tax code like we do. And so this is one form of us equipping you and building your confidence. Now, with that aside, if you get any sort of value out of this episode, feel free to leave us a 5-star rating and review, or even better, share it with a friend. Maybe you know somebody that's been impacted by what we're going to be talking about today. You can share this with them. We'd love to get in touch with them. And if you want, explore more ways to build confidence, make decisions more confidently, eliminate some of those concerns and confusions that you might be experiencing, you can reach out to me directly on Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn, to see if we are a good fit for your needs. We will be talking about a current event that happened in the accounting industry. Bench Accounting is a company, or was a company. Their focus was to come up with a technological solution that was low cost for the consumer and still met all of their accounting and tax needs. I wasn't too familiar. I had reviewed them and reached out to them a few times when it came to just exploring what it is they do. But recently, right before the new year, they announced that they were shutting down their business, and their employees and their customers were left completely hopeless, really, and they didn't know what was going on. So they shut down their website. They put on their website that they're shutting down. Sorry for any inconvenience, and basically better luck next time, which is absurd. They served thousands and thousands of clients, and in a moment's notice, they were no longer around. And it just so happened that it was right before year end, when accounting tends to be at the highest need. And so you can imagine that customers, clients of Bench Accounting were frustrated. They were confused, they were concerned, and now they're left looking for another accountant. And we're going to be talking about what happened here, why it might have happened, and what can be done in the future to avoid things like this. So there's 4 things that I want to talk about. The first is automation over relationships. Note that Bench Accounting was looking to make life simpler using technology. They wanted to take the person out of it. They wanted to have everything done by computers, by robots, by artificial intelligence. And it sounded like a great plan. It caused some fear to come upon those in the industry who are just trying to put food on the table for their families by providing services in line with the gifts and the talents and the career choice that they've made. And so when somebody comes on the market and says, yeah, we're going to do away with you completely, we don't think people need a relationship with an accountant, because books can be automated. Books can be categorized by a robot, by artificial intelligence, by a computer. And so they did this, and it hit. It was a big hit. It was pursued by a lot of venture capital firms. People were investing in Bench Accounting and expecting a high payoff, because why do we need accountants anymore? We can turn to computers. They can do math, sometimes better and faster than the people that are being paid for these things. So no need to worry about humans. It's going to make our life better and less costly to invest in a computer. Well, wouldn't you have it? They are no longer around, and they have since reached out to other firms to buy their company for pennies on the dollar. And so what sounded like this grand idea, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for technological advancements. If we can make our life easier, all the better. But replacing humans, replacing the relationship that is necessary in this industry, is not a good business plan. And the reason I can say that with such confidence is because we meet with hundreds of investors and business owners. And one of the largest complaints when we ask them, what challenges have you been experiencing in your tax and accounting life? The largest concern they have, the largest challenge they have, is a lack of communication from their accountant, i.e. a lack of relationship. They don't feel cared for. They don't feel like their accountant knows them. I just got off a phone earlier this week with somebody who said that he just felt like a small fish in a big pond, and he didn't think that the accountant had his back. And I understand that. I understand when accountants have a business and they are trying to serve 500 and sometimes thousands of clients, and they don't have enough time for everyone, which is why we offer more of a boutique firm where we are getting on the phone with you. We want to hear what your challenges have been, what you've been through, where you're falling short, where you want to go. We want to know, what have you done in the past few years? What do you want to do in the next couple of years? Where's your family life? Do you enjoy your family? Do you enjoy your business? Do you enjoy your job? These are questions that we come with because we know that relationships are pivotal. And this goes for any sort of business. There is a large focus on automation and artificial intelligence and focusing on computers to free up time and money because humans are expensive. But what I have found in my experience is that humans offer something that computers can't, animals can't, plants can't, and that is a relationship. I mean, I'm a man of God and a man of faith, and I claim that the reason behind that is because we're all made in the image of God. We have a sacredness to us, and we have a relationship desire in us. And so when it comes to business, being relationship focused rather than trying to chat with a computer or chat with a robot is usually the better option. Use computers, use automation where you can, simplify your life, but don't try to take humans completely out of it because, well, for starters, I don't think it's a good decision because of that relationship that we all desire. But I also think that it is not in line with God's will. Because God has created humans to be in the image of God, He puts great value on the human life. And if you're trying to take the human life out of it, then you are going to reap the consequences. As you, the person who is listening to this, who might be interested in what a CPA has to offer, look for somebody who is relationship focused. Don't look for somebody who's going to automate everything or doesn't have time to meet with you or doesn't want to get to know you. Look for somebody who cares about you, who wants a relationship with you, who desires to help you reach your goals and solve your problems. That will put you down the path of success. That will lead to more confidence. That will eliminate confusion. You will have a one-on-one relationship with your tax planner. He'll know you, you know him, and the rest will take care of itself. So the first thing that bench accounting did wrong was focusing too much on automation and not enough on relationships. Number two, private equity / venture capital gone wrong. Like I said, there were a lot of investors that were in on bench accounting, which is amazing because it seems, as an outside looking in, they didn't have enough money to pay their employees, and so they just shut their doors in an instant. And so I think another thing is that this is a warning to those who think that money will solve their greatest problems. I mean, this happened in early 2008, the financial crisis. We had these massive banks that had more money than they knew what to deal with, and they collapsed. And so money is not the solution to every problem. Bench accounting probably had a war chest of capital at their disposal. They probably also had a lot of debt that they were having to pay off because they took on a lot of debt because this was the next big idea and it was going to pay off tenfold. And yet now they've lost the money of the private equity and the venture capital firms. They'll be selling to another company for pennies on the dollar. And for us as business owners, we have to be aware and cautious of the temptation to pursue money at the cost of success, right? Because if you think the next $10,000 paycheck is going to solve all your problems, you would be wrong. You need something greater. We need something more stable than just money, because money ebbs and flows. If you're invested in the stock market, Bitcoin, real estate, any sort of business or venture that involves itself in money, you will know that it fluctuates. Now, money solves a lot. Money is a good resource. It can be used for good, I should say. It's not good or bad. But when we think that venture capital and getting that next $100,000 investment, that next $1 million investment is going to solve all of our problems, we're going to find ourselves far less fulfilled and less successful than we once thought we might be. Because bench accounting is an example of this going wrong. When you pursue investors and everything is about the next investment and getting the biggest investment, then you might be taking your eyes off of an actual strong business offering, business opportunity, right? So what we're learning is that this business offering, this business opportunity wasn't as great as it was pitched to be. And so now a lot of investors are out of their investment. The business is going under. And again, they're selling for a much lower multiple than they probably would have imagined. So venture capital, private equity is not always the answer. Number three is trying to do too much. Specialize, serve the few. Bench accounting was looking to be the solution for everybody, the low cost, technologically advanced solution for everybody. It was going to solve everyone's need. And that sounds great. And maybe it does serve a lot of people's needs, right? Amazon, for example, serves a lot of people's needs. People can order whatever they want on Amazon, but not everybody needs to be Amazon. And Amazon is one in a million businesses, billion probably. So what is a better option and more proven based on my understanding of people and my experience with people and my understanding of those who are successful is that having a niche and serving the few and specializing helps. Think about the doctor's world, the medical world. I reference it a lot. How many doctors do you know who specialize? I just had a prospect come in recently. He was a doctor. Both he and his wife were doctors, but they didn't do the same thing. They weren't generalists. The husband was a cardiologist and the wife was in geriatrics, the service for the older folks. So you can have an expertise in the medical field, but specializing is where the money is made. The specialists make more. We have a client, an anesthesiologist. He specializes in administering anesthesia to people when they need it most. And he has specialized it, and it pays off. He makes a large amount of money, more than the average American, probably more than your general practitioner that might be making $2, $3, maybe $400,000 or $500,000. So specialize. We specialize in real estate, or people looking to use real estate to pay less in tax. Do we know the business world? Do we know the tax incentives for business owners? Yes. Actually, that doctor that I was talking about, we found more tax savings in his business side than we did on the real estate side. And so we have knowledge that will serve many people, but we have found that real estate investors need us the most, and also the most confused, but also have the most payoff, the highest return on investment, because there's tax savings that not everyone knows about that we can point out and help them be aware of. And the last one is too big to fail. Be wary. We should have learned this in 2008 of companies that are too big to fail, or because you think that they're so big that they're not going to fail. Many people might have said that about bench accounting. It was a startup, and I think you would even categorize it as a well-established business. They were doing pretty well, and they had thousands of customers who are now without a resource or a professional to solve their accounting needs. And so it was too big to fail in 2008. Now, don't get me wrong, bench accounting is not the JP Morgan or the Bear Stearns of the world, but they were a pretty well-known accounting solution in the marketplace. And most were surprised to hear that this was happening to them. But don't take it for granted. Things can change very quickly. Sometimes it's best to go to a boutique firm, whether that's a firm that requires a greater investment up front, but they're more reliable and better resourced and have more of an understanding about your needs. That's probably better than the bench accounting alternative or the QuickBooks alternative, the TurboTax alternative, right? Well, I didn't even say it. Cheaper is not always better. I'll probably put out a post about this on Facebook. If you're not connected with me on Facebook, please do. But cheaper is not always better, right? We think about cheap and saving pennies, and that's usually considered a good thing. But in the case here, people who went cheaper on their accounting are now left without an accountant. And now they're going to be worried and stressed and anxious about getting their stuff done for tax season. And they have every right to be worried and stressed and anxious, because their reliable source of information and expertise is no longer around. And now they have to go searching elsewhere to get things filed on time and done correctly. So those are some of the things that we can learn from this. If you are a bench accounting customer or you were affected by this, my heart goes out to you. We would love to see if we have a service that's good for you. We don't serve everybody for this reason. We know that somebody who is looking to serve everybody, they might be making more money, but they're either not providing the high quality that we so desperately desire to provide, or they're not building relationships with their clients, and that's something that we can't forego. So if you're looking for a relationship-oriented accountant who has time for you, who will provide you with confidence that you need, we'd love to see if our services are fit for you. If you're looking for the cheapest alternative, it's not going to be found here, but I hope this message and this episode served you and equipped you with some information that will help you on your journey. Until next time, God bless you and keep moving forward.